The Spirit Charmers deck is probably one of my favorite decks to run in Master Duel because of its just raw damage output and unsuspecting utility. People see a deck like this and they usually underestimate it. I probably say the most. I might have the most wins in this game with this deck. Now, keep in mind this is probably like a C tier deck. I mean, it's just off the top of my head. I don't really know if we're going by like FD, CBA, S for tiering. This is probably a C tier, maybe a B tier, but you know, every single day it just gets lower and lower in the ranking. But I like to run 40 cards for this deck. You can obviously run a few more if you want. You can add a couple of, you can add 3 Max C's if you want. You can add 3 Ash Blossoms, but me, I like to run 2 Max C's. We got 2 Ash Blossoms here, and now we have our Familiar Possessed Ousa. We have 2 copies of that, 2 copies of Familiar Possessed Area, 2 copies of Familiar Possessed Hita. We have 2 copies of Familiar Possessed Win, and then we have 2 copies of Familiar Possessed Dark. Also, we have 2 copies of Familiar Possessed Lina. And those are our main normal summon monsters that we run. Keep in mind, when you play these cards, you're not paying attention to their special summon effect. You're just normal summoning them to get a free draw with their continuous spell card. I mean, for these, you can special summon this card from your hand by sending 1 affiliated Charmer monster with their element and 1 other Face of Dark monster. It's a really heavy cost, and all that does is adding a level 3 card from the opposite element and giving them piercing damage. It's not really worth it. That's not how I play the deck at all. I'm sure you could, but it's way too many cards to invest for not great effects anyway. And then I run 2 copies of Nefarious Archfiend, Eater of Nefariousness. I have 2 copies of Gigabyte, 3 copies of Gigabyte. There's Lina, and then I have Fairy Tale Luna for a little bit of a tech card, just so you can have a little bit more consistency with opening up your 1850 beaters. And also you get the effect, once per turn, quick effect, target 1 monster your opponent controls. Your opponent sends 1 card with that monster's name from their deck or extra deck. So if they are running a 1 of, then you can send it to the return it to the hand rather. And if they are running multiples, you can at least get 1 of those cards in the grave, which can work against you depending on the decks you're going up against. But we have 1 copy of Ranryu, which actually we should have 2 copies of Ranryu. I don't know why there's only 1 in here. That's interesting. We have 1 copy of Awakening of the Possessed, Nefarious or Archfiend, whatever. 1 copy of Awakening of the Possessed, Greater Inri Fire. 1 copy of Awakening of the Possessed, Rasen Ryu. Oh man, look at that. I didn't realize you could actually zoom in that much on the cards. We have 1 copy of Magicalized Fusion. 1 copy of United We Stand, and you can get rid of this if you want to. I just like to throw it down just to have like, oh yeah, my monster is big. We have a field spell, Grand Spirituar Ichirin. We have 3 copies of Unpossessed. We have 2 copies of Possessed Partnerships, 1 copy of Impermanence, which again, more if you want. We have 2 copies of Spirit Charmers, and we have 3 copies of Awakening of the Possessed. Now, obviously, you have a couple of extra cards you can add in if you want. Depending on how you want to run the deck, you can also run with the Charmers, which can actually take control of your opponent's monster with the same card type, Earth, Fire, Water, whatever have you. As long as this card remains on the field, which it would remain in the field with Unpossessed. Unpossessed would prevent them from being destroyed, but these are flip effects. You throw it down, you flip it, you take control of that opponent's same element, and then Unpossessed would keep it alive, so you could keep possession of the card. I do mess around with these sometimes, but they're, you have to pretty much gamble on what element your opponent's going to be running, so I've kind of steered away from that a little bit. You also have the Channeler cards, which are again heavy cost to bring them out, or can also special summon if that same element type gets destroyed. They're fine to run, but I typically don't, just because they are level 5, so if you draw too many, you brick. So I kind of stick away from that. And then, so let's go ahead and move to the extra deck. I am running 1 Quintet Magician. We have 1 number 101 Silent Honor Arc for 2 level 4, quick and easy summon just in case you need a little bit of versatility. We got Baguska in case you don't have a great opening hand and you really need to stall or to get you out of a pinch. We have Hita, the Fire Charmer Ablaze. We have Wind. We have pretty much a Charmer associated with each of the element types. We have Predaplant Verte, just in case you're not drawing your 1 copy of Magicalized Fusion, but you have the requirements met, so you can actually summon Quintet. You have Lyn of the Light Charmer, 2 copies of that, and then 2 copies of Dark, because Light and Dark are very common attributes. Then you have Celine, Queen. I wasn't calling her Queen, I just didn't want to read the rest of her name. Appaloosa, I always forget how do you pronounce that. Bo, the Goddess, and then Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. That's my extra deck right now. I just had to remove 1 or 2 cards that I forgot to cycle out last time I was doing some modifications to the deck. So if you have a couple of other level 4 Lynx or XZ monsters you want to throw in there, go for it. If you can find a good combination to run with Ash Blossom as a tuner to go with some of these spellcaster cards, then by all means. I don't mess around with synchros all that much, but now that we've pretty much gone over the deck, let's go into the basic strategy. So essentially what you want to do is get Awakening the Possessed on the field, more copies if you can, because what this does is it gives you every monster you control 300 attack for every different attribute you control, and as you've seen, all these cards run different attributes. So if you get 2 cards on the field with different attributes, each monster is gaining 600 attack, and they don't even have to be a Possessed or a Charmer card to get that bonus. It's just all monsters you control. Also, what this card does is prevent your Charmer and Familiar Possessed monsters from being destroyed by card effects, which means your Familiar Possessed, your basic level 4s, and your Charmers, which are, your Link cards, plus, if you do run these cards over here, these are also Charmers. And then every time you normal summon a monster with 1850 original attack, or special summon as well, you get to draw 1 card hard once per turn. So that is the main card you want to be running in this deck. I wish I had a royal of it. Then you have your Spirit Charmers, which is just some adding if you need, just to give you extra consistency. You discard a card and take 2 cards from your deck with different names that are Charmer or Possessed cards, and you set 1 on the field and add 1 to your hand, or the order is add 1 to your hand and set 1 on the field. Typically with this, if you're playing this, you're either setting a Possessed partnership, you're setting Unpossessed, and you're adding to your hand either Awakening of the Possessed, or you're adding a level 4 summonable card that you either didn't get that turn, didn't open with, or just need to throw down to get an extra draw for your turn. Possessed Partnerships allows you to special summon 1 spellcaster with 1500 defense, which are pretty much all of your Possessed cards right there. And then if you do summon that card, and that by the time that card gets on the field, you control 2 monsters with different attributes, you get to pop 1 of your opponent's face-up cards on the field. And then while this is in the graveyard, you can banish it and target a possessed continuous spell trap from your graveyard and place it on your field. So if you did lose your Awakening of the Possessed or your Unpossessed, then you can throw those back onto the field if they did get popped by banishing this from your graveyard. So it's a good recovery tool. Unpossessed allows your Charmer monsters to not be destroyed by battle, which only applies to your Link cards or your Flip cards. And then if you have a familiar Possessed monster that you control attacks an opponent's monster, which would just be like your level 4s and stuff like that, then they gain 800 attack during damage calculation. Not when they get attacked, only when they declare attack. Also, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect while it's already face up in your spell trap zone, you can special summon a spellcaster with 1500. You just get to reborn a monster from your grave who meet the conditions. It's perfect. You can throw them up in face up attack position, or if you do run the Charmers, you can throw them in face down position, so you can actually get that flip effect again. Sorry if my mouth is a little bit wonky. It's been a long day. The field spell pretty much allows you to negate your opponent's first effect that activates while you control a spellcaster with 1500 defense. During your main phase, you can reveal a spellcaster from your hand and add a monster with the same attribute, but with 1500 attack, 200 defense. So basically, this allows you to reveal a monster, let's say, reveal Ausa in your hand, and then you get to take Nefariousness from your deck to your hands, because these cards, we're going to get to in a second, special summon themselves. Magic Life Fusion, we're just using this to bring out Quintet Magician, which just banishing fusion materials, mention it from your graveyard, and whenever you get to actually summon him, if you summon with 5 spellcasters with different names, you destroy all cards your opponents control. So good if you're just throwing monsters in the grave, you get to clear a board. Now, each one of your Awakening of the Possessed cards have their own thing. Basically, you use Nefarious or Nefarious, Archfiend, whatever have you. I'll show you the combo with this. It's if I can. I'm not going to go over each one of these effects, but basically, this one's summon effect is return a card your opponent controls, and when they go to the graveyard, you get to add 1 of your spell trap cards to your hand. Inri is used for burn damage. When it gets special summoned, you get to inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of a monster they control. And then this just allows you to reborn a monster from your grave, so that way you can link it off and then get its send to the graveyard effect. Ranryu, Gigabyte, and Nefarious Eater all get to special summon themselves if you control a spellcaster. So if you open up with 1, 2, 3 of these cards, you get to fill your field immediately. And it's each one, since they're different elements, will give you attack boost. So that's pretty much how that goes. So that's the main function of the deck. I know that was a lot of explanation, but let's go ahead and get into a duel so I can show you how it works. Let's see. Our opponent is running a 40 fucking 3-card deck. Crazy. We actually have a pretty good hand here to open up with. So first we're going to throw down Awakening of the Possessed, as long as we don't get Ash Blossom, because you can get Ash Blossomed, I believe, from that. We're going to throw down Dark to get our free draw. There we go. And we got our Spirit Charmers. That's great. All right. We're going to activate Spirit Charmers, and we're going to discard Ausa. We don't need that right now. And what we're going to add is we're actually going to add Lina here, and then we're gonna throw down Unpossessed in a non-imperm zone. Perfect. And we're gonna special summon Ranryu because we control a spellcaster, and not gonna be able to use that. So because we have both of these on the field, we have a wind and another card we can actually special summon from the deck. That's why that's lighting up with the affiliated element, the wind card. That one returns, that one bounces the monsters. We're not going to do anything with that. And we're going to go ahead, I think. We're just going to leave it and see what our opponent does, because I'll be able to flip Unpossessed. That'll prevent battle destruction, and this will prevent card effect destruction for our Possessed Dark. And then when I need to, I'll pop Partnership, so I can special summon Ausa from the grave, and then pop a face up if I need to. Oh, Trickstar. Okay, we're gonna Unpossess it. I'm not worried about Trickstar killing me. I already set up a good board, so I'm not gonna worry about burn effects. We're gonna turn auto off. You're gonna already start with Korribane though? Interesting. I have a Trickstar deck, and I wish it was more powerful. I wish Trickstar did like 300 burn, because I always seem to... Oh, we got Candina too. I always get down with Trickstar to like their final 1800 life, but I just can't keep the combos going long enough, and by the time I get down to that much, they already have a good board enough setup, and you got... yeah, this guy knows how to play Trickstar. We're gonna special summon Ausa from the grave. I'll draw 1 card at the very least, and we're gonna go ahead and pop Light Stage. You're not keeping that. Yeah, you can't do anything. Alright, draw. We got Imperm. That would have been great before. I can't even Imperm like Chorus because Unpossessed is over there. That's fine. I'm gonna get rid of you unless you have like a Mirror Force, but it's alright because they'll be okay. That's... yeah, of course you have... that's okay. That's fine. We didn't need those. Alright. This isn't so bad, because I can still special these from the hand if I need to. We're going to throw down Luna real quick. Get that draw. I'll take some burn. That's fine. And I'm probably going to use a quick effect to force Lycoris to go to the grave. Yeah, we're going to... actually, I want to force Candina to the grave, because that gives him any choice of a draw whenever he wants. As long as he normal summons it. So let's toss one of those. He's not going to be a recurring Candina unless he runs Monster Reborn in this deck, which I guess he could. The Trickstars don't have a lot of recurrence effects, so that would make sense. I personally don't run Monster Reborn in that many decks anymore. Come on, just toss it to the grave. You can't do much. I'm willing to take some of this burn because I do so much damage. Go ahead. I know you're burning me a little bit, but that is just fine. He has another Korribane in his hand, I'm sure. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and loop this real quick. Get to have that free special summon. Yeah, so by bringing him out, he gets a special from the graveyard, which if you do open up with with a level 4 with one of these guys and a level 4, then you get to immediately go out there and do a link summon. And I'm going to actually, I'm going to steal, I'm going to use you and Ranryu, and I'm going to steal one of your cards in the graveyard with light attribute. get some of that gone. We're going to steal your Candina, which will obviously get the attack boost. Yeah, this guy, he's just waiting to activate fucking Corbane or whatever it is. Get you, because I don't mind if we lose your Candina when you do this, but you're going to have to make a choice, buckaroo. You let that go through, okay. And can I get this going? Just trying to see if I can get any of these cards to the grave. What are you doing? Yep, there it is, okay. That's fine, because now he's going to the grave and I get to use his effect. And Unpossessed to do a special. Easy. See, I mean, look at this. Everything here has really great synchronicity. They all work so well together. We're gonna we just grab one of these, another partnership. And let's go ahead and special Hita. Oop. Oh man, look at all this. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Whoops. That's fine. Ouch. Anyway, ignore that. Also, sorry if you can hear that clicking. That is my controller. Also, is this original attack? Yeah, it's original, so I'm not going to bother with that. I normally don't do this. I just have these just in case, but I know he might go into a field spell. He might have something going on that I can at least negate, keep his Candina on the field. Yeah, there's a summon. And he can't even really go into a lot of link summoning with these cards. I mean, if I let him get out the 4, he'd be able to get his quote-unquote boss monster, which burns me for a lot of however many trick stars he has in the graveyard. So I gotta prevent him from having 4 monsters on the field so he doesn't get that. Yeah, there he goes. Okay. So honestly, it's a really good beat stick deck. It has a lot of control capability, especially if you keep your extra deck in a very specific set. But I very much enjoy the Spirit Charmers. We'll run another duel just to show you guys some of its other. Maybe we'll get to see how it fails, because it's definitely not perfect. I've absolutely bricked. The deck has a couple of garnets for sure, but so this is a good open hand because we get to see how we can immediately go through and grab some of our like if we didn't come up with a specific spell or trap, this is the combo to do. Go ahead and re-special this level 4, and then we're going to link them off. We're gonna go with Earth. Actually, you know what? No, we're gonna go with Wind. I feel like you might be running a Wind deck. Definitely not. Go ahead and do that. Allow us to link it. It'll only keep us with 1 monster on the field, but we do get to activate this effect because it left the field, and we get to go ahead and steal Unpossessed since we didn't open with that. We're going to throw that to the right of the Imperm, throw down Imperm, and then we are set up to have a pretty good field. We can max see what he's playing, Imperm anybody in the middle, and activate Unpossessed. So this will be protected from battle and card effects because of Awakening. We're just going to fast forward till something happens. Shit. Something happened. Damn it. Well, there goes card effect destruction. Or protection against card effect destruction. Alright, he's going to battle. At least I'm protected from destruction. Oh, but he has his card effect F. Well, that's alright. Because I'll at least still get to special summon. And add. We're actually going to take... We're going to take Grand Ryu so we get more specials next turn. Because at the very least, if I don't have a good hand, if I can't make things work... Oh, he's water, actually. I can throw area out there. And I might be able to... If I get him into the grave, I can steal him. But at the very least, I can Baguska and stall if I need to. Because it looks like with the Necros and Incantation, they're heavy on monster effects. That Maxi really did come in clutch right there. I mean, I only got a couple draws off it, but out there. Okay, dude, I had a whole thing, man. All right, well, that's 2 victories, I guess. So you can see how even to get on the back foot, the cards do have really good recur capabilities for adding and drawing and setting and stuff like that. So I personally really enjoy the Spirit Charmer deck. And again, if you want to, there are a couple cards you could always swap out depending on, just playtest a little bit, see what you want to do. But as far as synchronicity with other decks, I don't think it really works well with others. I've looked into it, but there's not much else it can really do. Again, if you want to add 3 Ash Blossoms, you can run a Ghost Ogre. If you want, you can run an Effect Veiler. If you want to control a little bit more, you can add Feather Duster. If you can find a Synchro that'll work well with it, you can. again, any other Link monsters you think will fit in here. Just kind of mess around with the extra deck a little bit, but as long as you have one attribute type for each one of these, so you can take possession if you need to, then you're doing good. And yeah, that'll about do it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.